What is up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. This is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. Monday Night Raw comes to us live from Cleveland, Ohio. And in honor of Cleveland, Ohio, I'm wearing orange because that's the city color from what I was told based on SummerSlam last year. And with that being said, I would like to give you my top 10 favorite matches to take place from the city of Cleveland. So let's get started. At number 10, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kane for the WWE Championship on an episode of Monday Night Raw, June 29th, 1998. Fun fact, this match actually took place on what would have been my 4th birthday because June the 29th just so happens to be the date of birth for me. And this happened on my 4th birthday, with Stone Cold got a rematch for the first blood match that he lost the championship to Kane in with accidental interference from The Undertaker. So in this match, Stone Cold would fight Kane after challenging him earlier that night. The Undertaker up there would make an appearance in that match. In the end, Stone Cold Steve Austin would go for the Stone Cold Stunner and regain the championship that he lost 24 hours prior. And may I just say, the fans of Cleveland, Ohio that night were crazy awesome. Not to mention Stone Cold got payback on The Undertaker because The Undertaker didn't want to see his brother set himself on fire, which was the stipulation for why The Undertaker helped Kane win. Next on this list, we go back 2 years in time to SummerSlam 1996 with The Undertaker versus Mankind and the first ever Boiler Room Brawl. To me, this match did not disappoint at all. It was pretty brutal for a second because times were different. We got a little static for a second, but in the end, the match came back in. They fought their way towards the arena where Paul Bearer, God rest his soul, would make the unexpected betrayal towards The Undertaker, aligning himself with Mankind, helping Mankind win the match. Next at number 8 is a man who takes inspiration from people like Kane, Mankind, and The Undertaker. The late Bray Wyatt, God rest his soul, versus Dean Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley with the Death Riders and AEW. Rooting for you, Edge or Adam Cole. This match was a TLC match, pinfall match, just out of a grudge. We saw Dean Ambrose went for not one, not two, but I believe 2 or 3 elbow drops off of a ladder onto Bray Wyatt through the announce table. Through wooden tables. We saw the announce table break also, if you want to talk about tables. In the end, Jon Moxley's mistake would go and work against him as he was attempting to use the TV to bash Bray's head in, but he got halfway electrocuted. Bray Wyatt took advantage and won the match. Next on this list, we go to Fastlane 2016. This is a match between Chris Jericho and the phenomenal AJ Styles, who made a surprise return at the Royal Rumble earlier this year, or should I say a couple of days ago. Nights, rather. This match was another match, but it wasn't a grudge match. It was just basically about competition. AJ won the first one on Raw. Then Jericho won one on SmackDown. So we had a bit of a rubber match at Fastlane. And of course, Chris Jericho wasn't calling people stupid idiots yet, but he was trash talking during the match. The match was really good. We saw some submission holds. We saw code breakers. AJ Styles almost got counted out, but he didn't, thankfully. In the end, it was the calf crusher, AJ's submission, that would help Chris Jericho, that would push Chris Jericho rather, to tap out. AJ Styles won this match. Now they would go on to have some more matches like the one at WrestleMania 32. But that night belonged to AJ Styles in Cleveland. Next on this list, the next two matches on this list take place at SummerSlam of last year. First, we start with LA Knight, versus Logan Paul, the man we can't stand. And even most of Cleveland couldn't stand him. Even having Machine Gun Kelly by his side, the fans couldn't stand him. It doesn't matter if that's your hometown. We can't stand you. Maybe it has a lot to do with that controversial video where they found a dead body and they did it to get views. Him and a couple of other people and some young lady who looks like Perazzo. But in any event, moving forward, they can't stand Logan Paul. And that's despite the amazing moonsault he did. After the moonsault, fans still chanted, "You still suck." In the end of the match, Machine Gun Kelly's interference worked against Logan, though he meant for it to work for Logan. LA Knight would capitalize, go for the BFT, and win the United States Championship. Yeah. Next on this list was the main event of SummerSlam of last year. Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship in the main event. What made this match so special is that they fought, then both sides of the fence interfered because it was bloodline rules, much like WrestleMania. And don't make it bloodline rules with Cody Rhodes anymore because we all know if you really push him, he'll find ways to win. And you probably done made some people mad. So, no more bloodlines rules for Cody Rhodes unless you want to lose. And we'll all be happy. But in any event, this match saw the interference of Jacob Fatu and which one is it? Tama Tonga, the one that sounds like TD Jakes. Yeah. Like he in church or something. But in any event, moving forward, they interfered. We saw appearances from Kevin Owens before he lost his mind. By the way, get well, Kevin Owens, in real life, because I know that Alabama Slam did some real life damage to your body. So get well soon. Of course, we saw Randy Orton, who would later be taken out by by Kevin Owens, help interfere as well. But what made the match extra special was near the end. We saw the return of the OTC, the true tribal chief, Roman Reigns, to spear Solo Sikoa, and Cody Rhodes would capitalize and win the match, retaining the championship, the WWE Championship. Speaking of Roman Reigns, we go on to number 4. This is a triple threat match between Jon Moxley, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns for the number 1 contendership at WrestleMania 32 versus the then WWE Champion, Triple H. Now, let's talk about the fact that Brock Lesnar is just unbeatable. You shield by him through one announce table, he gets back up. You put him through another announce table and then bury him with the rubber and metal, he gets back up. You can't bury Brock Lesnar. Not literally, not figuratively. Then he comes to the ring and does a suplex while Roman Reigns has Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, hoisted over his shoulders. In the end, Moxley would take a chair and beat Brock Lesnar out of the ring with it, only to get speared by Roman Reigns, and the tribal chief would win and go on to face Triple H at WrestleMania and would win the championship in the main event. Next on this list, we have the Shield's Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Jon Moxley versus Bobby Lashley, Caillou McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. This match was the last time ever. This would be the last time we would see Jon Moxley before he would eventually go to AEW in late May of 2019. Of course, we saw the Shield Bomb to Drew or Caillou McIntyre before we saw the Triple Power Bomb finisher on Baron Corbin. It was a great trios match, and it was the best ending. And they all shared an embrace like the Click, except non controversial and non consequential, before Ambrose parted ways to AEW. Seth and Roman remain in WWE, and as we saw a couple of nights ago, Seth has a lot of hate and unresolved anger towards Roman. Next on this list at number 2, we go to Edge and Christian, before Christian liked talking about dead dads, versus the Hardy Boys in what was the first of many classic tag team matches. This not only helped push the Hardys and Edge and Christian into the latter years of the Attitude Era, this helped put WWE's tag team ladder matches on the map and would help continue to keep the Attitude Era unstale, because you already had Stone Cold, The Undertaker, who was out at injury at the time, The Rock, Triple H going at it in the main event. Now we need something that'll just keep people interested in going. And this match right here did not disappoint. Sadly, all Jerry Lawler cared about was Terry Runnels. But in any event, the match was great, and of course, the Hardy Boys would win, meaning they won the money and the managerial services of Terry Runnels. Jerry the King Lawler wants other services because back then he was a nasty Burger King. And in event, let's get down to number 1. Number 1 on this list, we have Chris Jericho from the Learning Tree Elementary School versus Shawn Michaels in an unsanctioned match, in a grudge match at Unforgiven 2008. This came about when Jericho accidentally elbowed Shawn Michaels' wife, Rebecca, and then later on made taunts about it and had no apologies. So this match happened, and boy, was it good. Jericho got his. Lance Cade tried to cover him so Shawn wouldn't go for the elbow through the announce table. They both got it. And in the end, Shawn was so angry that after beating Chris Jericho to a pulp, the referee had to stop the match. That's how mad he was. And if my memory serves me correctly, the referee got knocked out too. Don't mess with a man's family. Bottom line. Excuse me. Don't mess with a man's family. Chris Jericho found that out the hard way. So, that's my favorite matches from the city of Cleveland, Ohio. Let me know who or what was your favorite match in the comments below. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. And if fate and Lord willing, I will see you guys tonight for a review of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. In the meantime, have a great Monday, everyone. Hopefully, you're not like Garfield and hate Mondays. See you later.